Are we on? Hi, Sean, and we're back. We've been brought to our second place in Florida, of which some people came to us and said, hey, maybe there's some sort of ghost activity possibly going on here. The first being in Ocala, Florida, which we took a look at and snapped some very insane photos at that EVP session, which you'll see on this episode. Welcome back. We're in Sebring, Florida, with a very interesting lady. This is Marjorie O'Mara. She has a PhD. She's a social worker. She's also been involved in paranormal and spiritual activity for a good portion of her life. She does have several degrees dealing in this kind of stuff on the spiritual end. She also happens to be my mother. So it was quite a pleasure to be able to come out here and take a look at this for you.
You're going to use all the tape.
She, anyways, to make a long story short, we will cut this short, but we have to basically teletape what's going on. You brought us here speaking of some orbs in your backyard.
Yes.
Even coming so close that you felt that they had actually entered you, but you didn't feel a violation at that point.
No violation.
But you did, and you continuously were able to shoot photos with a digital camera, catching these orbs in different spaces.
At different times.
In different times in her backyard. I've looked at the backyard, and I do see some lights and other things back there that could cause some reflections. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up an EVP recorder in your yard, see if we can catch some voice activity, some electronic voice recognition. We're going to set up several cameras in the yard with and without light. And we're going to just sort of probe. We're going to see if we can get these things to either show themselves or to communicate in some way. So is there anything you'd like to add?
How much is this going to cost me?
Well, you know, you've already paid for our trip down here. So, you know, in this case, you know, if you're getting a freebie, and the folks here on White Trash TV get to see how we're going to go about this. And, you know, hey, we might just find out if you have some ghosts. So we appreciate it. Let's get started.
All right.
Cut.
You said hit record.
Yes, tell me.
Okay. Here's an example of one of the orbs that I saw. And then there were several others up in the sky after I enhanced. And over here is a picture of them at other different times. There's the orb there, and it's not there.
We'll start shooting. So we came out here last night like you asked us to. We attempted to relive the experience that was going on here, and we looked at a few things, including lights from the street coming in here and reflecting on these fence lines, as well as, if you notice up here, there's a large 1,000-watt halogen bulb that just barely gets covered over the house, which if you stand back a little ways, actually will give a reflection coming over the house and reflecting onto this metal shed over here. Then on the metal shed, what you have over here, as we saw, was the 400-watt halogen reflecting off this shed. And most interestingly enough, if you come over here, is how brightly the grill on this metal car with this hole in the fence, if you come over here, and you can see, you can actually see the grill on this metal car with the hole in the fence. Their window over here with various lights. Sure. Yeah, they have lights too. Okay, there. And then the lens actually right here. From where you were standing and not even noticing this stuff, what I mentioned I thought was happening was a actual mirror image effect of all the lights bouncing off of each other on these various things and causing the orbs in your camera flash. So are you going to film us? So we came out here last night and we tried to relive the experience. First, taking the camera flash from the exact spot with the halogen on like it was on the same night. Then taking the flash with the neighbor lights on. Getting orbs both times, but getting up close enough without the neighbor light on and without the halogen light we got no orbs,
Nothing.
no orbs whatsoever. So, you know, step one of our investigation here, you know, I'm pretty much going to believe that we've given you an alternate explanation. That's not to say that what you saw out here, okay, that's not to say that what you saw out here was nothing. It could have been something, but we've at least been able to offer an alternative explanation. So in part two, we're actually going to just go ahead and set up an EVP meter out here, and we're going to videotape everything in pitch black with no camera flashes. We're just going to see if we can get something to come out just for the heck of it. So,
Okay.
All right. Shed right here, and we had reports of having some eerie noises coming from out here. So I just came out here a few minutes ago, hearing banging, as if sounding like some spirit activity. And the closer I got to the shed, about 20, 30 lizards started running up and actually were shaking and rattling the shed. So, you know, we have to figure that any sound coming from over here is actually lizards. So the final analysis after doing an EVP session, of which nothing came up except for several animals, and testing different light formats, much like all cases with orbs. We have 3 different photos here which show 3 different things that happened. Here is with the floodlight on, and as you can see, there are orbs coming here from various reflections. The neighbor light on with no floodlight. And finally, both lights off, showing no orb whatsoever. So this was just a case of reflection, much like usual.